5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. To reject this call, hang up now. You may begin speaking now.
Hello and welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. Today, or I should say this morning, there were several of us in the TV room watching the news, and on CNN it said that Joe Exotic, a.k.a. the Tiger King, I think it was, is attempting or put a petition in to get married to his former inmate lover. Now, apparently, so if we're getting this correctly, this is how this is working. Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, the Netflix series, The Tiger King, whatever, apparently met somebody in federal prison. We believe he's saying that the guy got out. Okay, that's what it looks like. Guy got out, and now he is trying to turn around and get married to that person. First of all, I want to break this down because this is what it looks like happening, and I want to be able to talk about, is this even possible? In short, no. This is how it works, okay? Before I get into this, let me say this. I am here at Butner FMC where Joe Exotic was for some period of time. He was really close with two guys that I know well in here, Carl Bender, Gary Settle, and they were all really close friends for a long period of time. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a joke because they're both straight. Joe Exotic is not. And we've been making jokes about this all day because Bender tattooed Joe Exotic. I talked about this before. And it came out today. Bender said that Joe Exotic wanted Gary's name tattooed on the back of his ass cheek. And Gary Lee Settles, he wanted that Joe Exotic actually wanted the name Gary Lee Settles tattooed on the back of Joe's ass. But come to find out that it wasn't true. But anyway, so we had some fun today talking about that, going back and forth, because Bender 100% for sure was, as we put it, getting intimate with Joe Exotic because he was tattooing him, and and he definitely did put the tattoos on the guys. Anyway, let me tell you, this is how it happens. Okay. Joe Exotic is, he likes Hispanics for sure, okay? While he was in here, he had a rendezvous with a couple, from what I'm told. One guy, I believe, died actually, but he had a thing for young Hispanics. He went from here to a prison in Texas.
Where did he go to? What's the hospital in Texas?
Yeah, to Fort Worth, Texas, and where it appears that he met somebody. They showed a picture of him today with the guy, and if he met him in prison, such as it was reported, and the guy is now out of prison, there's absolutely no way that this will be able to happen. And this is why. The BOP has a visitation policy that you must know the person prior to incarceration, okay? So you can't meet the person while incarcerated if you want to visit them. Now, I will say that the warden can override that, staff can override that. For example, I met my former wife, Marta. I was incarcerated. We did not know each other prior to incarceration, but they ended up allowing her to come in and visit me, and then we were we were then able to get married. Having a bad word day. Actually, I just woke up from a nap. Okay, but we were able to get married. Now, in this case, obviously, what I'm thinking, this is just Joe trying to stay. He likes the media, some media attention. Maybe he does have feelings or is in love with this person or whatever. I'm not going to discount that. But to be able to have a relationship in prison, then turn around, have that person be out and come back and visit, super, super unlikely. It'd have to be a really, really cool warden. And with the high publicity being on Joe Exotic, chances are, 0 to none okay? We're going to get more of the story on this tomorrow. We have to watch TMZ to get more of the story, and the reason is TMZ, we get a day late here. They did have pictures of him with this guy. We've been laughing all day because we're saying that Bender, who tattooed him, was going to be jealous once he saw him. anyway, I guess you'd have to be here. It's probably not funny to you guys, but I mean, I'm telling you right now that there's. Sorry to Joe, he's not going to be able to do it. Let me say this: the way you have to do this is, first of all, you have to have the person on your visitation list, okay? Then you have to file a.
This call is from a federal prison.
Actually, get your unit team seeking permission to get married. That person then has to go through a bunch of hoops on the outside to get married. Get marriage certificate, marriage license, and then you have to get a chaplain or you have to get all that set up. I'm not saying that's not hard. When I did it with my former wife, it was hard because she was living in a different country, and we had to go through a lot to get that done. This wouldn't be that hard for them. But it's just not going to happen. And which brings up a different point. You know what? I thought about something today. Who gets discriminated against the most? Prison is straight men. Because take people that they actually have groups for transgenders or for homosexuals. They actually have groups. I'm not saying that I know of one in here. Actually, they do have like some transgender committee or something. That's actually something that's on the messaging board. You can write to somebody who's in charge of some transgender group, whatever. But imagine, say you're homosexual in prison. You're not supposed to have sexual relations in prison, okay? Let's just get that straight. With inmate on inmate, inmate on guard, whatever the deal is, you're not supposed to. But if two people want to be, they do. And they're going to live together most of the time. That's the way it is. And staff is going to allow that to happen. They will accommodate that. They want people to be able to sell together, okay? So then that happens all the time. But yet a straight person won't be able to have any kind of relationship with somebody, his girlfriend or whatever. It's wrong that it has to be a family visit, or it's wrong that the Bureau of Prisons doesn't have conjugal visits. California does, but I thought about that today, and saying it's really kind of discriminatory, and people should try to pursue that now, especially now that gay marriage is legalized, like it is. In regards to Sean P. Diddy Combs, I found out, was it yesterday or the day before, that his lawyer recently had a judge go into the prison where he's at, looking at the prison conditions. Now, P. Diddy's been trying to get out of prison on bail. If he gets out, and the reason he's so adamant, it's not just because he wants to get out and it's not just because he wants to get out and fight his case from the street. It's because the chances, if you're out on the street, of actually being acquitted or having charges reduced is way greater than if you're locked up. I got a call back. Okay, everybody, I'm calling back. This is part 2, and I'm awake. Let me say this. First of all, it's Halloween. It's the 31st, and I slept during count time, which means that between what time do we get locked up? 3:30 and 5:05. I was asleep, and I'm going to say I've told everybody I'm on this MAP program with Brixadia, whatever you say, which is buprenorphine, and it kind of knocks me out at times, and that's how come it sounds like I couldn't talk properly and everything. Anyway, let me get into P. Diddy real quick. Recently, his lawyer comes out, and what they tried to do is get a judge to go in there and check out the prison conditions, in hopes is what it was, is of getting Combs released. They denied his bail 2-3 times now, and the reason they did that is because there's a new law that just went into effect. It's I don't know if it's like the prison reform something. It's the prison something. It just happened this year, and it's really huge, and that allows judges, politicians, other groups to go on prison, basically knock on the door, and they have to let you in. I don't know if it's that simple, but before you had to make all kinds of arrangements, and it's like this big dog and pony show where they're ready for the judges to come in, they're ready for the lawyers to come in, and they have everything all fixed up and nice, and it's like there's nothing to see here. It's straight up dog and pony show. Anyway, so what had happened recently is a guy filed for compassionate release based on the fact that the prison conditions were horrible. Okay? So the ventilation, the ventilation systems were bad. So the breathing, the air quality, the toilets were bad. They didn't have proper recreation time and so forth. And the judge actually allowed a person to go home early off their sentence because of that. So what the Combs legal team was trying to do is have a judge come in. As a matter of fact, I think it might have been that same jail he was in that the guy went home from. They're trying to do the same thing with Combs. And you have a great, great advantage if you can get out on bond, especially somebody like Combs, where you have all that money. Mm-hmm. You can pay people. You can pay people to go do things to other people. I mean, if you're really, really facing, the rest of your life like he is, a person like that with a charge with it involved minors and sex trafficking and all that stuff, I hate to say it on a channel like this, but that's one of those things where no bail's kind of warranted. I had a no bond case back in the late 90s. Drug dealers, pretty much all drug dealers, unless you were snitching, had no bond in the federal system. You can have a detention hearing, they call them, but the chance of you getting out, they just considered you a public safety factor, a danger, even when you were pretrial. And that was fucking wrong. But anyway, that's what the Combs legal team has done. Going back to Joe Exotic, what I was trying to say is there's a lot of us, the guys in here that knew him, they clowned about him. They really liked this guy, okay? And getting back to what Bender did a bunch of, this guy Carl Bender did tattoos on Joe Exotic. By the way, I know that his press people, there's like one lady, I forgot her name. People will hear this when I put his name up. Just make sure that he knows Gary Settle and Carl Bender said hello. They talk highly of him, and they got a lot of laughs with him. They said that I guess when Gary was getting transferred across the street, Joe kind of broke down and was crying for 3 days.
This call is from a federal prison.
But going back to the original point, I'd probably do another year. I'd bet another year in prison to getting out tomorrow that he won't be able to get married with a person that he fell in love with while he's incarcerated. That's just not going to happen. What else? I think that's about it on this one. I know I'm going to call back and do something a little random. There's a couple things I want to address. Okay, that's about it on this. Take care. Thanks for your support. Go to the top of the page. Check out the merchandise section. By the way, Convict Inc. is not me. It is the channel. I know since I've been incarcerated, I've been doing Convict Inc. says this, Convict Inc. says that. People were calling me that. Robert Rosso is my name. The whole Convict Inc. brand was never supposed to be my brand per se. Meaning it wasn't supposed to be me. It was like, convicts in general, people that formerly did time and weren't rats and, anyway. That's it. Thanks for your support.